So, why am I rehashing school boards acting badly, especially now that school is out for summer? Well, I happen to live in an area of Richmond Hill, Ontario, that is having a by election for a school board trustee next Monday. That would be July 15th. And given the shenanigans I have witnessed firsthand with so many other school boards, I decided to take a very deep dive vis-a-vis researching the candidates who are vying for a trustee position for the York Region District School Board. For starters, there are 9 candidates running, and I wanted to personally contact each candidate to see where they stand on some specific issues that are, well, concerning to my family. Now, before I recite the email I sent to most of them, 3 candidates were immediately disqualified, namely Peter Adams Kowski, Dennis Bailey, and Bai Yang Lam. Now, these 3 gentlemen might be superb candidates indeed, except for one thing. On the official candidates list, none of these individuals offer an email address or a phone number. That's crazy. If I can't even contact them when they are campaigning for my vote, what would it be like getting in touch with them if one of them were to become the actual trustee? Unbelievable. So it was that I reached out via email to the remaining 6 candidates. Here is my email verbatim, quote, "Good afternoon, hope all is well. My name is David Menzies and I live in Ward 2. As such, I shall be voting in the upcoming school trustee by-election. A big issue that concerns my family right now is the radical transgender ideology that is being pushed by many schools and school boards. Thus, I am reaching out to all the candidates who have contact information to find out where they stand on this issue. Your answers will determine whether or not my family will vote for you. Here are my questions. Thanks for your time. True or false, trans women are real women? Secondly, do you believe it is acceptable for biological males to play on the same sports teams and use the same change rooms as biological females? And 3, do you think it is acceptable for teachers to keep secrets from parents? I look forward to your response." End quote. Now, I can tell you folks that within 5 minutes of pressing the send button, I received a phone call from Robert Kowski, and Robert answered all the questions with clarity. No, he does not believe trans women are real women. No, he does not think it is acceptable for males to invade female safe spaces. And no, he does not think it is okay for teachers to keep secrets from parents. That's a hat trick for Robert. A close second was Sarah Manen. She was simpatico with Robert regarding questions 1 and 2 and agreed, in her words, 98% with query number 3. But she loses points because I had to get in touch with her with a follow-up phone call, as she never planned to return my email, which strikes me as really weird given that I am not a psychic. How would I ever know her stance on those issues? Now, I did get an email from candidate Susan Joseph. Here it is verbatim, quote, "Thanks for reaching out. I know that this is a complex issue and there are many different viewpoints. I support equal rights and freedom of expression, parental rights, as well as full disclosure of all information pertaining to one's children. And I also feel that schools should be inclusive, supportive, and free from discrimination. The trustee role is to advocate for students, parents, and educators at the board level. After reviewing areas of concern, my own opinion is irrelevant. If a situation arises that involves gender expression, I would learn as much as I could about the situation, as with any other, and try to be as fair and balanced as possible. I would consider all viewpoints and be as kind as possible to all parties involved." End quote. Now, as much as I appreciate Ms. Joseph getting back to me with all due respect, her answer is what we call in the journalism business a heapin' helpin' of word salad. I mean, it's a bunch of several feel-good sentences linked together, meaning absolutely nothing tangible. Oh, except for one statement, namely, quote, "My own opinion is irrelevant," end quote. Sorry, Susan, but your opinion as a school board trustee is entirely relevant. And if you think otherwise, I don't think you should be running for trustee. So it was, there were three candidates I did not hear from: Sadra Nasseri, Ali Nikju, and Danny Yoon. And just in case my emails to these individuals went to the junk file, I phoned all three and left voicemails. Surprisingly, weeks later, I've yet to hear any responses. Now, again, if you are not going to be accessible to a constituent when courting my vote, how accessible will you be once you're in office? I also started doing my own research, and I discovered some red flags when it came to Mr. Nasseri. From a York.com article a few years back, I discovered the following, quote, "Previous political experience, both a volunteer and an advisor to various federal, provincial, and municipal campaigns across the Greater Toronto Area since 2019, end quote. Oh, that's interesting, but which politicians, which campaigns? Well, I discovered from one source that Mr. Nasseri is connected to none other than Richmond Hill Liberal MP Majid Johari. Now, given the popularity of the Liberals right now, and given the disdain for Johari, who is a supporter of the Iranian regime, this is not a good thing to have on one's resume these days if you're running for public office. I was also tipped off that Nasseri has allegedly scrubbed the web of all incriminating evidence, but not quite, because as the saying goes, the internet is forever. So check out these three images of Nasseri getting chummy with, well, none other than Majid Johari. Oops. Now, I did reach out to Nasseri for the purposes of getting his side of the story for this monologue. And alas, the radio silence continues. I wonder why. Here's the point, though, folks. I am going to make a prediction that when this school board trustee by-election takes place next Monday, the turnout will be absolutely abysmal. And that's a shame. The reason why so many school boards have gone hopelessly woke is that these boards have been effectively colonized by the far left. The only way to counterbalance this and bring about effective change is to elect trustees who are non-woke, who put education above ideology. We need a big reset here. That is why it is incumbent on all of us, on all parents, to not only come out and vote, but to do our due diligence in researching exactly who these candidates are and what they stand for. If not, no matter where you live in our great dominion, expect more of the same, which is to say, expect the Marxists to continue setting the educational agenda. And you know, our children deserve better, much better.